recommend, since they didn't, Narragansett asked us.
Right.
We did not ask Narragansett. NK knows that Narragansett asked us and knows that they came. They have made no overture to, no request to come. Everything I've heard from NK school committee members is what a great job the high school review report was. They didn't seem to have any problems with the information. But if you want to offer them the chance to, you know, if you phrase it such that if you feel that there's anything that you would like us to know that's not in the report.
And by the way, our community might like the chance to ask some questions.
Which I'd be, frankly,
Yeah.
I'd be skeptical about how many people are gonna come out. We've had Jerry Foley here once a year,
Yeah.
every year, and it's just us.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and I was disappointed in the number of parents that showed up for the Narragansett one too. So if it's, so here's what I see as kind of a both and view on it is, you know, formally stating if there's things that you feel left out of the school report, we would welcome the opportunity to host a community information session. And I really like we would like to request an agenda item on an upcoming meeting.
Oh, gosh.
No, that's not ever gonna happen?
Well,
Their agendas are so packed?
If the unstated purpose is having
Right,
and parents experience the decision-making process used by the school committee, we'll say, they should attend a North Kingstown School Committee
On their
meeting
own.
to get the
And that's kind of what I'm
full
saying, is I think I need to go
effect.
attend a meeting.
If that's what we're trying to have a stiff drink first, make sure everyone is
How about this?
aware of.
How about, based on this
Send them
discussion,
to the source.
I don't want it to be a selling show, I don't want it to be a dog and pony show, but I really believe that the public has a right to weigh in on it. I hear what you said, Kathy, about Jerry coming here, and it was very lonely that night between.
Once a year.
I got you, I got you. Then what happens here is, how about we invite them? And if they have something that didn't show up, then
Then the invite was there, we did our
And that's sort of what I'm referring to. I'm
Yeah.
referring to how much I'm not sure what you're gonna glean from that, should they come or not. But if we make an invitation and they say, we would like to set up a meeting in which the public can ask questions and where, if there's anything you'd like to do, if you would like to present something that did not appear in that report, because I want to get off the dime and make this decision so the constituents have a clue. For the 8th grade students, you know, where, I mean, the decision's going to be made, but can we wrap this puppy up? And so part of what I'm doing is I think that this is, if we can invite them and they can choose to come or not. But we've
Well, I
done
also
our
don't
part.
want us to be making conclusions based on the fact that they don't
You
come.
almost had us, but now
Right.
you've lost
Right,
us
yeah.
again.
And my concern
Right.
is this is
Like
a
the failure to
two-sided
testify
contract.
being
This is a
taken against
contract
you.
by mutual consent.
Right.
North Kingstown, any year, can sever this contract. And for the record, every year since I've been on the school committee, and I'm confident it predated me, there have been very loud, consistent voices, either on the school committee or candidates running for the school committee, to sever that relationship. It has happened every year. And so it is just proper and probably an ongoing conversation that I think we will have to have on a continuous basis. So I think if citizens want us to make a decision and slam the book shut and say
It's
it's
a one-year
done,
contract now, too.
it's a
Not-
one-year
It's a
contract.
one-year rolling
And
contract.
we hear consistent calls from that side of the bridge to sever the contract. None has taken a majority position on the school committee yet.
Those voices have shrunk.
And I think they've shrunk, but
Yeah.
we've
I'm
seen
hoping.
the
Yeah,
darndest
they
things happen
definitely
with those
have.
voices. So I think it's false, I think it's not realistic for us to offer assurances to anyone to say, the decision is made and the conversation is closed, because it can't be.
It
We're only
never is,
50%
yeah.
of the conversation. We're
I'm
50%
sorry,
of that
I lost you.
contract. North Kingstown has the ability to sever that contract.
It's
Absolutely.
giving assurances that we have no way of
We
meeting.
have no way to
If we say,
control.
okay, we've decided we're gonna stay with North Kingstown forever, it could
I'm not
change.
saying that.
any- No, I know, but when you're saying
But to say
the
the
reason to
conversation
do
is
this is so that the parents
Decision
can be comfortable and the upcoming junior high students can know where they're going, because we want closure.
I withdraw, that was not what I meant.
Oh,
Okay.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was, in this particular case, next year we're gonna have another high school review committee?
No.
No.
That's what I mean. I wanna get,
We
this
agreed to do that
particular,
every 5
right now,
years.
we have been charged, we have been asked
Okay.
by Narragansett, okay? Well, that's what I mean. This particular decision,
Yep.
at this particularly unique time, when we are looking at 2 high schools, I don't expect to go through this every year, and I'm not expecting, and I understand that either side can sever this contract at any time prior to November 1st for the next school year.
So every year we're gonna have this.
I got that.
discussion.
But we're not gonna have the same discussion about whether to go to a different school, because we're not gonna have a high school review.
No.
Kathy's not gonna really lead another high school review committee, I wouldn't ask her to. But I'm not suggesting that that's the case.
Okay.
I'm
That's-
talking about this particular year, at this particular time, I would like to come up with a decision about this particular situation.
For this year.
For this year, and whatever comes up next year is next year.
Well, what I would say, so let's define what the decision is. So if we as a committee say, yes, we are taking a 5 or a 10-year commitment that we would like to continue with North Kingstown, is that what the decision is? So,
Well,
No, because it's now a rolling
So we don't-
contract.
did I plug in?
No, they discussed it, and the consensus was supportive, and it was explained by the superintendent what the reasons to do this, because waiting for the uniform chart of accounts. And the committee seemed supportive, but it wasn't on the agenda for a vote, only for discussion.
Be a rolling 3-year contract.
Right.
Each year would roll, so
This
each
year it's only 1 year,
I hear you.
right.
Yep. But the decision would be, so I'm just trying to clarify, when we sit down to say we want to make a decision, it is to say we won't engage, our 50% of the story won't engage in another full-on commitment to a high school review committee for another 5 or 10 years. Is that
3.
what we're, 3, for another 3
Three,
years?
rolling. Well, we can end it any time. We can end
And
it.
so can they.
The-
So can
the
they,
review
but we
committee.
can-
The review
Oh, the
committee. We
review
won't
committee.
reconstitute the
We
review
won't-
committee.
we
We'll
don't.
set every
No.
5 years.
Correct. Correct. But we would want to keep our options open if anything
If they-
changes, so
Sure.
that we now have
Sure.
a very
And that's to
good
the both
idea
parties.
of both sides. And if
Right.
there's a major change on either side, you would not have to do another review. You would know exactly
And Narragansett
what your
was-
options were.
Narragansett was very open in saying, we don't expect a decision this year and to come to any closure this year. This is an ongoing conversation we can have. Things are evolving, things will change, circumstances, populations, finances will change. This can be an ongoing conversation, which I think is just prudent on all communities' parts. But yes, I mean, is there a lingering sense of, well, have they made a decision? I think it's a misunderstanding about what a decision means. That's just essentially a vote of confidence that where we are now is the best choice for our students. And next year, do we expect change in circumstances? No, but next year we'll determine, what the circumstances are.
And I just want all the best
we in that.
information you can have to make that
Agreed.
decision.
Don't disagree.
Oh, this is the first heated discussion we've had.
Could I
It's
ask
very
what
exciting.
information
Yeah.
you feel you don't have?
Or that you could get from their school committee.
Because in quite lengthy discussions with administration, we asked personnel questions that I don't know that a committee would be comfortable discussing in open session with a camera running.
That's-
As personnel it's a sensitive issue. And if there were other, if there were specific things that we didn't get at, then I think posing those to the committee, or we don't feel like we got this information, because we asked them for a ton of information.
And we did have
And they
discussions
were
with
very
administration.
accommodating, they gave us the data we asked for, we asked for more, they met with us for hours
We're
on end.
referring to North Kingstown here.
Yeah,
And Narragansett, both,
both committees. And Narragansett in the end felt that we didn't fully portray them. And, that's understandable, they did bring forth information, I think, that we hadn't highlighted there. I just would wonder if you were going to pose to the Kingstown School Committee.
We want more information, right, you have
what
to say what it is you want.
Is it that additional information that you would want?
Unless you're posing it as a question that, our community would appreciate the opportunity to ask some questions.
That would be one of my, if I were gonna bring it down to 3 points that